Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my warm-up. My name is Travis. I'm going to be leading us through today, so why don't you join me? We're just going to start with some nice, easy marches. We just want to focus on getting our foot all the way off the mat, drive those knees up towards the sky, focus on keeping a nice straight back, pointing our chin up and our chest up and our shoulders down and back. Take some nice deep breaths here. Let's make those marches a little larger. Let's add in some arms. Again, we're driving those knees up towards the ceiling. We can pick up the speed too, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Some nice deep breaths here. And we're going to do this for 5 more seconds, and then we're going to switch over to kicks in 3, 2, 1. We're just going to be doing butt kicks. Let me show you from the side here. You're just going to be taking this heel and driving it up behind you towards the ceiling as high as you can, as close to your backside as you can. And I'm just alternating left to right, switching a little bit of my weight bearing, just like this. And now we're going to add in some arm circles. We're going to start small, going forward. I'm still leaning that weight left and right, taking those nice butt kick steps each time. And I'm just making my arm circles a little bit bigger. I'm still going forward. So now we have our medium arm circles. Remember to take some nice deep breaths. And now we're going to go into our large arm circles. And just go as wide out as you can. Really want to open up those shoulders. We're just drawing big circles with our hands on either end for 5 more seconds, and then we're going to move into side steps. Ready? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now I'm going to side step, so I'm basically just stepping left and right. Just like this, you can tap that opposite toe if you want. Take some nice deep breaths. Don't forget about posture. We're keeping that chest up, our shoulders down and back. And we're pointing our chin up, keeping a nice straight head. And we're going to add in some windshield wipers. So it's going to look like this. You're going to come across on both sides, just like you're wiping the windshield of a big bus. We're still stepping left to right. Remember to focus on our posture and our breathing still. Good. Keep it up. Get that whole body blood flow going. We're going to do this for 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Good job, everybody. Okay, take some nice deep breaths. Center yourself a little bit. We're going to move into a couple strength exercises now. So our first strength exercise is going to be the lateral shoulder raise. And so what that looks like is basically just spreading both your arms out wide while keeping. And you really want to focus on keeping a nice straight back here. So start with your feet shoulder width apart, nice athletic stance. Remember, our arms are going to be straight. We're focusing on posture, clenching those abdominals. And we're just going to raise our arms up slow and controlled. And we're just going to go for 8 here. Taking some nice deep breaths. We're thinking about posture. We're lifting our arms straight up. Driving those fists towards the ceiling. Good. Some deep breaths. 5 more here, folks. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, our next strength exercise is going to be our bicep curl. So again, feet are going to be shoulder width apart, slight bend in your knees and your hips. Spine, clench the abdominals, keep a nice straight back. And we're basically just going to bring our fists up towards our upper arm as if we're curling a bicep. We're going to keep those fists as our slight resistance. Take some nice deep breaths. Good job. Happy Monday morning, folks. Okay, we have 3 more. 2 and 1. Phenomenal. Our next one is going to be reverse fly. So what we're going to do is keep our feet shoulder width apart still, get a slight bend in our knees and our hips. And we're just going to do a slight trunk flexion forward. So I'm going to show you from the side. It'll be a little easier to see. So I'm coming forward with my trunk a little bit. I'm sticking my arms straight out in front of me. And I'm just going to drive them up and out towards the walls to my sides like this, keeping my arms nice and straight. You really want to focus on clenching that upper back to drive those arms to the side. You want to keep your arms nice and straight. We're only using our upper back for this. Take some nice deep breaths. We have 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Phenomenal job, team. Keep up the hard work. We're going to move into our lower body strength exercises. First, we're going to start off with a squat. So our basic squat starts with us being our feet shoulder width. Remember, our athletic stance, a slight bend in our hips and our knees. And then we're just going to come back as if we're sitting into a chair. And you just want to go into the depth that's most comfortable for you. The furthest you're going to want to take it is your legs being parallel to the floor. And just a nice, slow and controlled motion. We're not bouncing. And we're taking some nice, deep breaths here. So we're going to go for 10 total. We have 5 more. You can stick out your hands in front of you to help you balance. I like to do that. 4, 3. Remember to keep a nice straight back. Clench those abdominals. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Our last standing strength exercise is going to be our side lunge. So our side lunge is going to be similar to a squat in the sense that we're going to, this time, we're going to keep one leg completely straight. This is our stable leg, our tree trunk. We're going to be moving directly to the left. And we want to step back onto that one foot. So now we have our one foot that we're using to sit back into our much taller chair. This step back this way. Here you really focus on balance. It's okay to take some small steps in between the big ones to help you with balance. The most important thing is just stay stable. So we're just going to do 8 here on this side. And then we'll move to our other side. So like I said, we're just taking a nice step to our left, then going down into that leg like we're sitting in a much taller chair, kind of like a squat. Keep the hard work. We just have 4 more, and then we're going to switch sides. Remember to protect that posture by puffing that chest up and our shoulders down and back, clenching the abdominals. I can't see you, but I believe that you're doing it. 3 more on this side, team. 2, and 1. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to do it on the other side here. Same idea. We have our tree trunk leg, which is now going to be our left. We're going to step directly right. We're going to create a straight line with both of our feet. We're going to sit back like we're doing a squat. Remember to focus on balance. Remember to focus on posture. We're doing 8 on this side as well. Don't forget those nice deep breaths. 5 more. Try not to bend too far forward with your trunk as well. That's something that happens sometimes with these side lunges. 3, 2, and 1. Phenomenal. Okay. Now we're going to move into some dynamic stretches. So first, we're going to get back into our march. So just like before, drive those knees up to the sky. Get those feet off the ground. Take some nice deep breaths. And we're going to start to stretch our upper body. So first, we're going to stretch out our back. So I want you to just reach out to the side of you and then collapse your hands inward. And you can interlock your fingers if you like. I'm doing it. I'm going to show you from the side too. It might make it a little easier to see what I'm doing. And I'm just reaching with my shoulders. I'm not bending my trunk at all. My trunk is staying relatively straight. And I'm just reaching as far as I can while also marching. 3 more seconds. 2, and 1. Okay, keep the march going. Don't forget the nice deep breaths. Protect the posture. We're going to move into a chest stretch now. So start off the same, reach as far as you can to the sides, but this time instead of coming forward, we're just going to go backwards. Gently push those palms back until you feel slight tension in your chest. And then that's going to be our stretch. Take some deep breaths. Don't forget about posture. Clench the abdominals. 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a break. We're going to move into our side steps now. Just like before, you can tap that other toe if you want. I'm just stepping from side to side, and we're going to do a nice shoulder stretch first here. So you want to take your left arm and straighten it across your body like this. Reach for that opposite side with your hand, and then we just want to put one hand above or below the elbow, definitely not on the joint. And just come in, push it slightly towards your body here until you feel some tension in the upper back. And we're just going to hold this here for 10 seconds while we do those side steps. Keep that cardio going while we stretch. Really waking us up this Monday morning. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to switch. So we're going to shake that out a little bit, and we're going to bring our other arm across. So same thing, arm comes across the body, a little bit of tension above or below the elbow. And we're just pushing towards ourselves a little bit to feel a nice stretch in our upper back. 6 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, our next stretch is going to be for the back of our upper arm. So here I want you to just put one arm. For me, it's going to be the left right above my head. And then we're going to bend at the elbow, keeping the shoulder nice and straight towards that opposite shoulder. So you can see my elbows above my head here. And I'm just going to push a little bit below the elbow to really get that lower stretch in. Just go until tension, don't be discomfortable. Good. Remember to keep up the side steps. Keep it up. Okay. And 3, 2, 1. We're going to do the same thing but for the other arm. So we're going to reach up towards the sky, bend at our elbow towards our opposite shoulder, and come across with our other hand. And do some slight pushing. Good. Just until you feel some tension in the back of that upper arm. Take some deep breaths. 4 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, take a nice break. We're going to move into some heel digs. So for these, you want to keep one leg bent behind you and the other one we're going to bring forward and tap with our heel as the other one bends kind of like this. Almost like you're dancing, get a little rhythm in it. Really good. And then here we're going to do a little bicep stretch. So stick your arms out to your side and reach to each wall on either side of you. And then what you want to do here is kind of bend or turn your palms down towards the floor. And then keep turning the palms until they're really wanting to face that wall behind you. And then just go as far as you can until you feel some slight tension in your upper arm there. Don't want to do anything crazy, but remember we're rotating the palms towards the back of us to stretch that bicep. 3 more seconds. 2, and 1. Great job. Take a breath, take a little break. We're going to go onto our knees. So I'm going to meet me there when you can. I'm going to show you from the side angle here. It's going to be a little easier. We're going to start with our hip flexor stretch. So I'm going to stretch my left one first. So actually, I think it'll probably be better from the front for this one. Okay, so I'm stretching my left hip flexor first. So my right foot's going to come up and be firmly planted on the ground. And I want to remember here to keep a nice straight back by clenching the abdominals and puffing up our chest and our shoulders out and back. And then I really want you to lean in to your hips but still keeping your back straight. And then you should really go until you feel it in the front of your upper leg on your left side. You want to go to a little bit of tension. Don't go to anything crazy uncomfortable. And then just slowly lean into it. Take some nice deep breaths here. 4 more seconds. 3, 2. So this one I'm going to show you from the side. I think it's a better angle for my right leg. So same idea, but instead now our left foot is coming out and planting in front of us. And now we're going to be stretching this upper leg. So same deal, we want to remember to keep our posture nice and straight as we lean into our hips. We're not bending at the trunk, we're really just making our hips do all the moving. And here, just go until you feel slight tension in your upper leg here. And we're just going to hold this. Remember to take some deep breaths. Keep that head up, that chin facing straight out in front of you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to move into the back of our leg stretch. So same position, we're going to stay on our knees here. But now I'm going to kick out my right leg while my left knee stays back. And I'm going to just reach for it while keeping a nice straight back. I'm sticking out both hands and I'm reaching my toes for my fingers. And remember to keeping my back nice and straight here. I'm going to move a little bit so you can see. Keeping a nice straight back. And I'm just leaning. I have a slight bend in my knee also. That's totally optional. But that'll help if you want to get that hamstring stretch in as well. And just go as deep as you feel comfortable. You know, don't go to any type of pain, but until you feel that nice tension in the back of your right leg here. Take some nice deep breaths. You have 4 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. I'm going to switch legs now. I'm going to show you this from the front. Easier to see. Maybe, you know what, I'll even switch all the way over to this side to show you this. So again, my right knee is going to be against the ground here. And I'm kicking out my left leg. And I'm going to keep it nice and straight. And I'm just going to reach for it while keeping my back nice and straight as well. So same deal as the other side. I'm reaching. Have a slight bend in my knee if I want it. Just I'm going to tension in my leg. Good. Remember to take some nice deep breaths. Focus on keeping that head nice and straight on. 4 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Phenomenal. Okay, we're going to now bend into child's pose. So for those not familiar, you're going to want to start on both of your knees and then put your hands on the ground almost like you're in a tabletop. And we just kind of want to fold our bodies backwards until our backside is going to be touching our heels. And then you kind of just want to go deeper into this stretch like this until you get your head down. And we're just going to hold this like this for 10 seconds here. You really should be feeling this in your low back and your glutes. If you feel any type of tightness in any other joints, you want to come out of that nice and slow and try to reevaluate. Good. Take some nice deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. And then as we come out of this, I want to take a little pause here and just stretch out that upper back a little bit. Get nice and deep into it. So now you want to unfold your hips a little bit and kind of put the pressure more on your upper back with your hands. So you can imagine kind of digging into the mat with your hands a little bit as you unbend. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, great. I'm going to flip around onto my backside now. And we're going to do a little core exercises here. So I'm going to start by doing some twists. So for our twist exercise, we're going to have 2 different variations. And so our level 1 is going to be with our feet on the ground, and then we're just going to twist our torso and touch the mat on either side. And our level 2 option is going to be keeping our feet off the ground and a little leaned back. So now just my backside is touching and then touching the mat that way. So either way, level 1 or 2, whichever you feel comfortable. And we're just going to do 10 touches on each side of the mat. So 1, 1, 2, 2, like that. But we're going to go for 10. Remember to breathe through all this. Keep that head nice and straight. It's easy to kind of look down here. Okay, 5 more touches each side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Okay, for this next exercise, I'm going to flatten out. So I'm actually going to go onto my side to show you this one. So right now I'm going to flatten out, but my knees are going to be bent. So we have our nice bent knees. Our feet are planted on the ground. I'm trying really hard to make sure I'm pushing my whole back into the mat. We don't have any rounding going on down in our low back here. So our first exercise is going to be the leg lift. So we want to take one leg and kick it out straight like this. And so right now I have my leg hovering above the mat. You can also have it resting. We're going to bring it up into our other intensities here in a minute. But so we basically just want to lift our legs straight up. I'm keeping my toes pointed all the way through the movement. So I'm basically going to end up pointing my toes behind me at the end with a nice straight leg. A slight bend in your knee is going to be totally natural. And as you come down here, if you don't touch the mat, that's going to be a little bit harder for us. So our level 2 intensity is going to be never touching the mat with our heel. But you can also do a little tap to the mat to bring down that intensity a little bit, whatever makes you feel comfortable. We're going to do 10 on this side before switching. So we have 5 more. 5. Remember to keep that back nice and straight. 4. Take some nice deep breaths. 3, 2. Last 1. And 1. Phenomenal. Okay, so same thing, other side, we're kicking that leg out straight. Our other leg is now planted. Remember, you can keep it above the mat, touching the mat, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And we're just going to come up with it, drive it straight up until our toe is facing that way behind us. And we're just going to do 10 here. Some slow and controlled movements for us. Take some nice deep breaths. 5 more. Good job, folks. 4, 3, 2, last 1, and 1. Great job, team. Okay, we have one more core exercise. We're going to be staying in this position. And this is just going to be our basic sit-up. So for this, both feet are going to stay planted. And we're going to focus on activating our core to kind of bend upwards until our scapula is off of the mat, and we're going to leave our hands on the mat to drive forward. You can also take a little pause at the top of this exercise if you want to bring up that intensity to our level 2. So we're just going to do 10 here. Remember that pause if you want. And we're just driving our shoulders off the mat. That's as far as we're going to take this. 7 more. Remember to keep breathing, nice slow and controlled movements. You can take that pause at the top if you want. We have 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Okay. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna sit up here and go back to my backside, and we're gonna do some stretching from this position. So first, our butterfly stretch. You just want to basically have both knees try to be flattening out towards the mat as we're touching both of our feet together like this. And I put my hands back behind me to help stabilize. If you want, you can bring your hands up to your feet like this while keeping a nice straight back the whole time. We just don't want to be putting our hands onto our knees. That can be pretty dangerous. And so we're just going to do this for 10 seconds. We're going to take some nice deep breaths. 5 more for us here. Remember, we're going to try not to bounce. We're staying nice and still. 3, 2, and 1. Phenomenal. We're going to now transfer into our back stretch. We're going to be twisting, so we're going to start with our legs straight like this, and then I want you to bring your right knee or your right foot over next to your left knee like this. And now basically you're going to focus on putting your left upper arm up against right below your knee on your right leg. And then your backhand is going to be here to support you. I'm going to show you from the side actually. It's going to be a much easier angle. Okay, so like I said, foot next to knee, and then we're putting our upper arm next to right below our knee. And see how this backhand here is kind of stabilizing us? And we just kind of want to drive and twist a little bit using our knee in the floor. Nothing crazy. Make sure we're keeping that head nice and straight. We're just going to be here for 10 seconds. Take some nice deep breaths. Take this time to relax, calm down a little bit from all of our exercises. Good. 3, 2, and 1. So now we're going to switch sides on this stretch. You don't have to move. I'm just going to switch to show you. But now we're taking our left foot and placing it next to our right knee. And then you want to take the back of your right upper arm now and place it against right below your left knee. So same deal, just the other side. I'm still using this backhand to drive myself into the mat. And now I'm just going to twist using my arms slightly until I feel some type of tension. And I'm keeping that head nice and straight. I'm taking those deep breaths. And I'm just kind of driving that twist motion. Good work. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from here, we're going to roll over onto our left side first. We're going to be using our arm as a pillow here. And so now our top leg is what we're going to be stretching. We're going to be stretching our quads here. So what I want you to do is grab that foot with your arm and kind of just pull that heel into the back of your leg. And you should be feeling the stretch on the front of your upper leg on your right side, right here. I'm just going to hold this here for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly, we're going to come up to the other side. Take your time. Meet me there when you can. It's going to be the same exact exercise, however. So again, we're using our arm as a pillow here. I'm using my upper leg, so my left, I'm just going to take my heel and drive it into my backside. I have my hand on my ankle to help me do that, and I should really be feeling that on the front of my upper leg while the rest of my body stays nice and straight. We're taking some nice deep breaths. 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to sit up now. Get back up to our knees. We're going to do another stretch now. It's called the pigeon. So there's going to be a couple different variations here. But we're going to start by sitting with both of our legs out in front of us like this. And so basically, we're going to start on our left side. So the way we're going to get into this stretch is we're going to lean our weight onto our left leg, and then we're going to put our right leg back behind us like this. So I'm going to show you from the side too, so it's a little easier to see. So, like I said, so now we should basically look like this. This is the pigeon, and for some of us, this is as far into the stretch as we're going to get, and that's totally fine. So if you feel some tightness, some stretching in your hips here, that's perfectly fine. You just want to stay here. But if you want to progress this a little bit, what we can do is take both of our hands out in front of our front leg here, keeping this bottom half of our leg nice and straight as we drive this leg straight out in front of behind us and kind of come up onto our hands like this. So see how my right leg driven out behind us, and now I'm kind of driving into my hands here. And this is going to be our level 2 option for the stretch. And if you feel a nice stretch here, you can just stay here. That's totally fine. And if you want to go even deeper into the stretch, what you can do is put your elbows down on towards the mat and just walk your hands out in front of you. And keeping your head down, really just walking these hands out. You should really feel that on the outside back of this leg, on this front leg here. I'm going to stay in our level 2 position. We're just going to hold this for 10 seconds. We're going to take some nice deep breaths. Like I said, this is the pigeon stretch. We want to keep a nice straight back when we do this. Good. Take some nice breaths. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay, we're going to switch to our other side now. So same deal from the start. So we're going to start basically in our butterfly stretch, and we're going to lean all of our weight onto our right side now as we kick our left leg back behind us. I'm going to do that to the side though here. So now it's going to be the same exact stretch, except we're on our right side. So remember, you can stay here if you want, or you can come up onto your hands, kicking that left leg out straight now. Now I'm just going to stay here. We're going to do this for 10 seconds. Remember, if you want to go even deeper into the stretch, you can kick out, bend more at the waist. Good. We just want to take some breaths. Really focus here. Get that nice back, top of the leg stretch here. 3 more seconds. 2 and 1. Okay. Good. Okay, we're going to do one more stretch from this position. So laying prone like this, we're going to do what's called the cobra stretch. So for the cobra stretch, we're going to place both of our hands on the mat as if we're doing a push-up and kind of come up. We're going to be bending at our lower back. So remember to be really cognizant of how your lower back feels. Don't go too far into a bend. Go nice and slowly with some nice deep breaths. Here your toes can be pointed on the mat or flat out, whichever you prefer. And this is going to be our stretch. We really just want to stretch out those abdominals here. Breathe. Come as far into that back bend as you can. It's going to make it more intense if you come up onto your toes like this, or feel free to stay at that level 1. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So we want to slowly lower back onto the mat here. Take your time with this, no crazy movements. And we're going to go into a tabletop position now. So what that means is getting up onto our knees and our hands, just like this. Good. We're going to do a couple exercises from here. Our first one is going to be the plank. So you want to get up onto those elbows and then we're just going to hold like this. Make sure to not let your lower back go too far down. You want to really clench those glute muscles that will help you keep your low back straight. We're really focusing on clenching those abdominals, keeping a nice straight line here. We just have 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We can drop those knees. Come back into our tabletop position. Take a nice couple deep breaths. We're going to go into our push-ups next. So for these, essentially, we're going to have 3 different variations. We're going to start from our knees, just a normal knee push-up. And then level 2 is going to be kicked back to our feet. This is going to be your conventional push-up. And then at level 3, it's going to be a conventional push-up, but only with one leg. I'm going to start with our knee push-ups because it's 6 a.m. on Monday morning. So we're just going to come nice and slow down until we get right above the mat and then push ourselves back up. We're going to do 10 here. Good. Remember to take those nice deep breaths, keeping our back nice and straight. You really just want to come down nice and slow and then explode up. 5 more. Don't forget about your posture. Protect that low back by clenching those glute muscles. 2 and 1. Good. Next, we're going to move into our bird dog exercises. So for those not familiar, a bird dog is essentially, we're going to kick one leg out, and we're going to kick our opposite arm out, like this. And then we'll just come back in together. So we're going to do 5 on this side. I'm starting with my left leg and my right hand. We're just going to do 5 here. 2 more. And 1. Phenomenal work. We're going to switch over to our other half of our body. So now we're using our right leg to kick and our left arm to raise. And we're just going to do this 5 times. Remember to really focus on that balance. It's easy to fall off balance here. 2 more. Good. Okay. Our next exercise is going to be for our glutes. So essentially, you want to be in the tabletop to start, and then one leg is going to kick out behind you straight, and we're going to drive that heel up towards the ceiling, like this. We're gonna do this 10 times. 5 more. You can tap the mat if you want. That'll bring down the intensity a little bit, or keep the leg hovered the whole time. 2 more, and 1. We're gonna switch over to our other side now. Same deal, kick that leg out, and we're just driving that heel up towards the ceiling. Remember, you can tap the mat if you want to bring down that intensity a little bit. I'm gonna take some nice deep breaths here. We just have 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. Our final exercise from tabletop. I'm gonna show you from the front. It'll be a little easier to see. So here, this is called the fire hydrant. So both of my knees are together in our tabletop. And I'm essentially just drawing a smiley face with my right knee. Right now, I'm driving this part of my leg up towards the ceiling. And I'm trying to keep all the movement. My hips, I'm not moving my knees at all. Taking some nice deep breaths. Putting a lot of the weight into my hands to help with my balance. 3 more on this side. 2, 1. Good. Take a nice deep breath. Same thing, other side. Draw a smile with your leg. 5 more. And that's that. Good job, everybody. We're going to now move back to our feet. So we're going to slowly get back to standing. Take all the time you need. Meet me here. Our first exercise is going to be a calf raise. So for those not familiar with the calf raise, essentially, you're just going to be stepping up onto your calves like this, onto your toes, using your calves like you're going to be reaching for something on the top shelf. I'm just putting all that weight up onto my toes like this, using my calves. We're not bouncing at all. We're just doing nice, straight movements, driving those heels up towards the ceiling. We're just going to do 10 here. You can also do 5 of one-leg calf raises on each side if you like. That's going to be way more intense for us. So that's going to be the same thing, driving that heel straight up, except now we're just doing 1. So I'm going to do both at one time. And we're just going to go for 10. And I'm just driving my heels up towards the ceiling like this. I'm not bouncing them, keeping a nice, slow, and controlled movement. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Okay, our next stretch is going to be for our calves as well. So you should really be feeling this in the lower part of your back leg. So we're going to start with our right side here. So what we're going to want to do is step forward with our left leg. We're going to plant that. That's going to be our stable leg. And then we're also going to plant our back leg. But we want to make sure that both of our feet are flat on the ground. And I'm keeping this leg nice and straight up behind us. And I really just want to make sure I'm keeping a nice straight back as well, not bending at the trunk at all. And I'm focusing on keeping a nice posture and puffing that chest up towards the sky. My shoulders are down and back, and we're just holding like this. And we're leaning into this front leg until we feel nice tension in the back of our lower leg like this. Take some nice deep breaths. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to do the same exact thing, but switch sides here. So remember, we have one foot planted out in front of us with a nice bend in our knee. This is my right leg right now. My left leg is out straight behind me. Feet are flush on the mat. And I'm just leaning into the stretch, keeping my back leg straight. I really should feel that on the bottom part of my back leg, and your calves and your soleuses. Good. We're just going to hold this for 10 seconds. We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. Next, we're going to move into our balance exercise. So this one, we're going to be wanting to envision drawing a Y with the foot that's actually going to be moving. So let me show you what this is going to look like. So I'm going to keep my left leg planted right now. And essentially, I'm putting my foot out in front of me. And then I'm bringing it back across my left leg. And I'm going to kick it out to the right, back, and then kick it out to the left. So if you could imagine Y with my foot in the front, to the right, and then to the left. So this is called the Y Balance Challenge. And if you feel like you can't make it all the way, you can take some steps in between. So for instance, here, and then kick it out, come back, a little tap. But as long as you draw that Y, it doesn't matter how many times you touch the mat while doing it. Just really focus on making a nice Y. Remember to keep that upper body nice and straight while we do this. And we're just going to do 5 on each side. So we have 2 more. Remember, we're coming out front. back right, back left, drawing our Y, coming forward. Last one here. Good, take a nice deep breath. We're gonna do the same thing with our left leg, so now our right leg is gonna be our stable one. And we're just reaching forward, coming all the way back to the right, and then to the left. Good. Remember, you can take those small little stutter steps in between to help your balance, to help you get all the way over there. Good. I also like to throw out my hands to help myself balance. So I'm just coming forward, back left, back right, and then back to forward. Good. That was our third one. We have two more. And this is our last one. Back right, and back to center. Good, so that's gonna be it for our challenges. And now, we're just going to finish with some cardio, get our heart rate back up. So we're gonna do some jumping jacks. For those of us not familiar with jumping jack, we're gonna spread all of our limbs out like this in the jumping form. So it's gonna be like this. If you don't wanna jump, you can tap to the side, throwing our hands up. We're just gonna do 10. Ready, and begin. Good, take some nice deep breaths. Don't jump too hard. Remember, keep a nice straight back here. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, our final cardio challenge is going to be these backward steps. So essentially, you're just going to want to touch behind you, alternate each touch behind you, like I'm doing right here. I'm trying not to move my upper body too much. I'm just tapping behind me while I keep the weight on the opposite leg. I'm going to do this for 10 seconds. Go as fast as you want. This is going to be our final cardio exercise. So give me everything you have. This is it. Nice deep breath. Push yourself. I'm proud of you guys today. Good job. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's the end of my warm-up. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed.